Welcome to episode 3 of Fight IQ. I'm your host, Collective MMA, here with my guy, Wager, and we're breaking down PFL Austin going down on Saturday. Wager, how you doing, my friend?
Good. Hope you're doing well as well. PFL guys, we're going to be coming on here breaking down some PFL cards for you guys, and I'm very excited for it. All the big PFL events. You probably won't see me breaking down a PFL Mania or like a PFL After card, but you got Johnny Eblen and Impa Kasanganay in the main event, so we have to break this one down.
Absolutely. And yeah, it's a rematch they fought previously. Couple of other big names on this card as well. So absolutely looking forward to breaking down each and every one of these fights with you. So we will jump right into it with our first fight of the night. We got Mia Grawe versus Ashley Thiner. We got Mia Grawe coming at about plus 226 and Ashley Thiner at about minus 266. What do you like in this one, my friend?
Now, this one I'm going to be going with Ashley Thiner. I just believe her striking is going to be way too much for Mia Grawe. I think that's how you pronounce her last name, Grawe, right? But yeah, I just think Ashley Thiner's striking is going to be too much. I've seen in Thiner's previous fights when she went up against Alicia Cortez, where I think Alicia Cortez, right? That was her last name. I will always be forgetting people's names. I'm not good with people's names, but I think it was Alicia Cortez. Lisa was a very good wrestler in high school. Very good wrestler in high school. So when I originally saw that fight in LFA, thinking like, okay, how's this fight gonna go? Actually, no, I think it was in Bellator. I think it was in Bellator, if I'm not
Yeah.
mistaken. Maybe one of those two. But yeah, I originally thought that Alicia would have some success. I thought like, okay, she's gonna be able to get to her wrestling here, and she'll probably be able to take her down. I think I broke down the card on my page back in 2024, and I told people I thought I picked Alicia Cortez to win that fight. I was like, she's gonna come in here. I think she's gonna get the wrestling on. She's gonna be able to get a lot of top control. Ashley Thunder had a whole different way of that fight. She stopped all the takedowns. You saw Alicia Cortez after she couldn't get a couple takedowns. She kind of like got demoralized. And then Ashley Thunder striking. It's very crisp. Good 1-2s. Got the long jab. She has a great body kick. So I just think overall she's going to stop the takedowns coming from Grawe. I don't think Grawe has the best wrestling. Yes, she has good jiu-jitsu, but I don't think her wrestling is I would say, on the Alicia level. And I don't think it's that good at all wrestling-wise. If the fight gets to the floor, yeah, she can scramble. She can have some good jiu-jitsu spots. She can take the back. But overall, I don't think she's going to be able to get the takedowns. And that fight was 2 years ago with Alicia and Ashley Thiner. So the takedown defense probably just even got better since then for Ashley Thiner. So I'm gonna be taking Ashley Thiner, and I think she wins this fight. I'm gonna say it goes all 3 rounds. I don't think she's gonna be able to finish this fight, but knockout is on the board. Maybe once Grawe gets tired in that second or third round from shooting all those takedowns, she's gonna be forced to stand, and she could get put away. But I'm just gonna say Ashley wins this fight, and she wins by decision.
I'm with you. Give me Ashley Thiner by decision. Yeah, taping these fights, like you mentioned, Thiner and her fight in Bellator there. Yeah, she came out, showed her very impressive Muay Thai striking. Some people I was talking to were comparing her or saying she's like the female Sean O'Malley, and I kind of see what they're talking about. Like she's got some pretty clean striking. Yeah, she can mix it up. She's got lots of tools on the feet. And yeah, her anti-grappling in that fight, like you mentioned, was very good. Her opponent Cortez, wasn't having very much success on the feet against her, and really was looking to get that fight down to the mat. And she was stuffing takedowns, keeping her balance, getting underhooks, everything like that. She also grappled a little bit in that fight too, which was a little bit surprising, but she had success with that. And then yeah, eventually, just as the fight wore on, she was just pouring it on with the striking, and her opponent, kind of got demoralized and couldn't take it anymore. So yeah, I think she wins. Yeah, likely decision. Yeah, and like you said too, I don't think a knockout's impossible, but watching Mia Grawe, she's a little bit green. She's a little bit younger here, the younger fighter, and um, I mean, like you mentioned, like she's got some decent jujitsu. To wrestling, I'm not too sure how great it is, and I think that's going to be the key for her here. If she can't get takedowns, she's going to have a tough fight. Or if she can't get the takedowns, get some top control going, threaten submissions, that kind of thing. Obviously, that's kind of going to be the pathway for her here, I believe. But yeah, there's some things to like about her. Like she doesn't quit on herself. But yeah, I don't know if she'll be able to deal with the striking and anti-grappling here. So yeah, give me Thiner and give me Thiner by decision. In the next fight, we have Victoria Alba versus Borena Tsertsvadze. we have Borena Tsertsvadze coming in at about minus 255 and Victoria Alba at plus 215. This one, taping it, I think this is an interesting fight, but this is also a fight that I want absolutely nothing to do with from a betting standpoint. As a pure pick, give me Borena Tsertsvadze, but this fight is very hard to predict. You pretty much got striker versus grappler here. You got Alba as the kickboxing type striker. Then you got Tsertsvadze, who's gonna be looking to take this fight to the mat, look for submissions, ground and pound, that kind of thing. And just watching both of these fighters, like neither one of them has really fought a whole lot of great competition, and I have a lot of questions about both. And yeah, I just think that there's a lot of questions on both sides, and I just think that as far as a pick, yeah, you got to take Tsertsvadze, but as far as a bet, it'd probably be a dog or pass. So I'm going to stay away from this one. What about you?
I'm going to be on the Tsertsvadze side. I just think overall her strength is what's going to be the big key in this fight because she is very strong and she had a rough debut, but she went against Jenna Bishop. And for a girl, I took Jenna Bishop in that fight because I was like, if a girl in Tsertsvadze is going to try to get the fight to the floor and want to fight on the floor, you don't want to do it against Jenna Bishop. So this is a big step down in competition, in my opinion. And I think they're both very green, though. Both of them are very green. They don't have the best overall competition. They haven't beat. But I just don't think Alba is on the. I would say not on like this level at this point. I don't think her striking is all that level. Like she has good combinations at certain points, but sometimes I just see that she freezes. And I think in one of those moments where she's gonna throw some combinations, then eventually she's just gonna freeze and she's gonna get caught with a takedown. I think this is strength. I think that Tsertsvadze she's gonna come in here and get a body lock, and she has a great body lock. When she gets that body lock, she's just gonna rescue you down and use that brute force. And I do think she's gonna end up on top, and she does. She does have some grappling transitions that are very good too. She doesn't just try to stay like in half guard, try to stay on side control. She tries to move to full mount, and when she gets full mount, she doesn't really let go of it. She gets hooks in very well. She pounds your head in. She's threatening submissions at the same time while she's trying to throw ground and pound. So she's not a girl that's just gonna lay on you either. That's one thing I do like. So from a betting perspective, I probably won't bet this fight because I think they're too green for me. But Tsertsvadze is going to be my pick. I'm not too confident in it because, like I said, the competition for both these fighters, you could, you could, the way they're fighting these people, the way the low level competition they're fighting, maybe you throw all the tape out the window because when they fight each other, it might be different because you don't know who they fought that's actually good or on the level of these two fighters. So give me Tsertsvadze, and I think it's going to go. I think it's gonna go to decision, and it could be closer than what a lot of people think, but I still think Tsertsvadze pulls it off.
Yeah, I'm with you. And yeah, likely a decision. Could see a finish for her on the mat, but yeah, like I said, probably decision and one that I'm definitely looking to stay away from. Moving on to our next fight, we got Jackson Glass versus Zach Flessas. We got Jackson Glass coming in at about minus 1,800 and Flessas coming back at plus 900. What do you like in this one?
I think obviously everyone probably gonna be picking Jackson Glass in this spot. Yeah, the one thing that does scare me in this point is that he's 18 years old, and I've seen a lot of 18-year-olds come into this MMA game and then get caught out of nowhere, and they end up losing, or the moment's too big for them. But I just think this is just levels and skill levels. I think Jackson Glass is an all-around great fighter. He's shown he has good jiu-jitsu. He has good, decent wrestling. His combinations he puts on very well. The one thing I would say about him is he doesn't move his head very well. That's the one thing that kind of scares me. He doesn't have the head movement yet, but hey, he's 18. He's gonna get better and better. And he kind of throws like a lazy jab sometimes, or he throws a lazy leg kick, and he keeps his head on the center line, doesn't really move it. In his last fight, I think it was against Hall. I think the guy's name was Hall. Caught him with a straight right hand, right, and then dropped them. And we'll give it up to Glass, being 18 years old, popping right back up, and end up winning that fight in dominant fashion, knocking him out. But still, it showed me that you still need a lot to learn. Being 18 years old, you'll be fighting against a grown ass man, and they could hit you with something hard. They can drop you. But I think he's 18, so he probably is going to be improving every single day. Every single day in the gym, he's going to be improving. He's fighting with great fighters, and he there's been talks about this guy coming up in MMA. So I'm very excited to see what his MMA career comes out to. But minus 1,400, obviously he's going to win this fight. He's probably going to win by. I'm going to say he wins by submission. I think he's going to show his grappling off in this fight. I do believe he's going to end up winning this fight by submission.
Yeah, I echo a lot of what you said here. I think you have to go with the glass. Yeah, I mean he's 18 and his opponent is 34 and he's minus 14, minus 1800 favorites. So yeah, I think he comes out here, takes him down, either submits him or gets a ground and pound finish. And yeah, as you mentioned, there's been a lot of talk about him, a lot of hype around him. There's an interview of Merab Dvalishvili talking about him, saying that of all the partners that Merab spars with, this kid has been giving him the best rounds, and he's 17, 18 years old. Yeah, I think this kid has a very bright future in the game, and I think this is just the first step in sort of fighting in a bigger promotion and getting his name out there. So yeah, give me Jackson Glass and give me Jackson Glass by finish. Moving on to the next fight, we have Biaggio Ali Walsh, grandson of Muhammad Ali, versus Gamid Khizriev. In this one, as far as a pure pick, I guess I'll take Khizriev, but from a betting standpoint, I think this is definitely a dog or pass situation. Looking at Khizriev, I mean, he's doesn't have a whole lot of tape out there. There is some, but again, level of competition he's fighting is definitely questionable. And he also has a couple of fights that were flagged on Tapology for legitimacy reasons. He doesn't really Khizriev doesn't really have great striking. He's more so a wrestler. He's looking to get to the fight to the mat pretty much at all costs. I mean, he'll throw a couple of kicks and he'll throw something on the feet, but mainly he's looking to wrestle. And Biaggio Ali Walsh, I mean, previously he had lost a fight to Ronnie Gibbs, and Biaggio Ali Walsh was a massive favorite. He was winning that fight, ended up getting taken down, and then ended up getting submitted. And the PFL has been building this guy up. He had, fought in amateur fights with PFL. Now he's, had 5 pro fights with them. And I don't know. I kind of have a weird feeling that Walsh might make this competitive. I've talked to some people, and a lot of people think that are saying that, oh, I think the PFL is done with Ali Walsh, and I don't know if that's necessarily the case. Like, I think he's gonna come out here and look to anti wrestle and get it off on his own strikes. I listened to an interview with him, and yeah, he said he's training with Eric Nixick. He's been training with a lot of very good wrestlers that he said have been really helping him out work on that part of his game. Because yeah, obviously he's a very good striker, but the one deficiency or one thing he needs to improve on is his wrestling. But I think he's going to come out here and obviously look to stop the takedowns and obviously look to impose his will and beat his opponent up. In the interview, he was saying that he's going to keep the same game plan no matter who the opponent is, which obviously I don't love to hear that. But he did, of course, say that obviously he wants to win every fight that he takes. But he just wants to put on fun fights, and he's not exactly sure what he wants with his career and that sort of thing. But yeah, I think it's a pure dog or pass here. Not sure if I end up playing it, but yeah, definitely don't have interest in parlaying Khizriev at minus 400. And yeah, he's at minus 400. Ali Walsh is about plus 330. What about you? What do you like in this one?
I like Khizriev in this fight, and I actually like him a lot in this spot. I'm not gonna lie, I think he's a good parlay piece this weekend. I'm actually very confident in him. For what I've seen on tape, is this guy is a great doggy signing wrestler. His older brother is one of the biggest prospects in the PFL right now, and the other I can't remember his first name, but other Khizriev. Where his older brother is like a top 5 prospect in all of PFL, and he's getting great rounds fighting with them over and over. And he seems like his striking is coming together. It seems like his striking he has a good, very good jump knee. He has a good jab, 1-2. His wrestling is his bread and butter, obviously. And I've seen in his UAE Warrior fights where these 2 guys that he's beating UAE Warrior, they're actually pretty good. He fought a guy, I can't pronounce his name, but he was a very good striker overall. And Khizriev was keeping up with him in the striking, and then he eventually took him down, and he was dominating him overall from the striking standpoint. Yeah, and then, from the wrestling standpoint, but the striking was very even. The other guy got back up, ended up being a split decision. But if you go look at that fight, that guy was undefeated going to that fight. His only loss so far was to Khizriev, and then after Khizriev lost, got that win. He went on to win actually another 3 fights, I believe. So his only loss is going to be Khizriev, and Biaggi, although Ollie Walsh, I'm a big fan of him. Don't get me wrong. I watch this guy a lot. I think he has great boxing. Obviously, him being the grandson of Muhammad Ali, and there's been a lot of hype around him. So I think his boxing is obviously better, but when it comes down to the kicking game, the overall Muay Thai, the kickboxing, wherever he has, and then the wrestling, I don't think Biaggi Ali Walsh gonna be able to stop this Dagestani wrestling. If you're getting taken down by these lower level competition American wrestlers that are not even the best American wrestlers. A guy from Dagestan and Khizriev that has an older brother that is one of the probably one of the best prospects in PFL. He's getting better training camps than you, and I get it. I think I think Biaggi Ali Walsh is at Jackson Wink. I want to maybe or no Eric Nixick. That's what it is. Eric Nixick, I believe he's over there. So I mean, I want to say Biaggi Ali Walsh is improving and he's getting better takedown defense, but now you're going against a Dagestani wrestler that is undefeated right now. That's fought two guys in UAE Warrior that I think has a good chance of beating Biaggi Ali Walsh as well. And like I said, his older brother, he's getting great rounds in with him over and over again. I think he's gonna come in here. He's gonna win this fight pretty easily. I mean, he's gonna take down Biaggi Ali Walsh. He's gonna either submit him or he's gonna drop some heavy ground and pound. And then Biaggi Ali Walsh is gonna be on his back, fish out of water, just flapping around. I don't really knowing what to do. And I think Khizriev wins this fight pretty easily. So I'm actually very confident in Khizriev this weekend. So give me him. I'm gonna say he wins this fight. Probably I'm gonna say by submission.
All right. Moving on to the next one, we have Andrea Vázquez versus Aleksandra Savicheva. We have Savicheva coming in at minus 400 and Vázquez coming in at plus 250. What do you like in this one?
I like so how do you pronounce her name? I don't want to be rude. Is it Savicheva? Savicheva? Is that what it is?
I believe it's Savicheva.
Yeah, Savicheva. I would be on her. I think she wins this fight pretty easily. I think the other girl, what's her name again? I forgot her name.
Vázquez, Andrea Vázquez.
Yes. Vázquez, I don't think Vázquez is all that good, to be honest. I've watched a lot of tape on her. I watched like 3 fights of tape. I don't think she's that good. And I don't think either of these fighters is good. I'm not gonna lie. But it just comes down to who's gonna be the least shitter fighter. Like shit in your hand, throw it against the wall, whichever name it spells out is who you pick. And that's honestly that's what I'm gonna say. I think Savicheva is gonna win this fight. I think she fought a girl on Leslie Hernandez in LFA before, where I actually picked Savicheva because I mean Leslie Hernandez is one of the biggest disappointments to me because Leslie Hernandez really good boxing, but it seems like she can never stop a takedown to save her life. So now I feel like this is a step down in competition, even though you're going from LFA to PFL. I think this is a step down in competition from Leslie Hernandez. And I just think she's going to win this fight however she wants to. I think she can strike with her. I think she can grapple with her. Most part, she's probably going to take her down. And I think she's going to end up winning this fight probably by decision. There's a lot of top control. And the striking game is going to be very competitive as well. So I'm gonna say Savicheva will win this fight. I probably will parlay her, but you know you can do Ashley Thiner and Savicheva together. 2-leg women's parlay. What can go wrong there, right? 2 leg on the women's MMA. What can go wrong? But I like Savicheva this fight. She wins probably by decision.
All right. Yeah, I'm also going to take Savicheva, and I actually like her quite a bit here. I actually rate her a little bit higher than you. I think her striking is actually quite good. That Soviet kickboxing style. I actually like her striking a good amount, and I agree with you as well. Even though she's going from LFA to PFL, I do think that Hernandez is a tougher opponent than Vázquez. And yeah, I'm not that high on Vázquez. And yeah, as you mentioned, like Hernandez, I think was a better striker, just a better overall fighter. And Savicheva passed that test with flying colors. I was on Savicheva there. I also played the over in that fight as well. Mm-hmm. And yeah, I think she comes out, picks her apart from range, and if she wants to wrestle, she can. I'm not sure that she does here. I think she can just school her on the feet and win a unanimous decision. So give me Savicheva by unanimous decision. And yeah, I think she would be a solid parlay piece this weekend. Mm-hmm. Moving on to our next one, we have Jesus Pinedo versus Joey Ruquet. This fight was just recently added as Pinedo's previous opponent had pulled out. So this one, yeah, I tape both these guys, just tape Ruquet earlier on. And yeah, this one, I think you got to go Pinedo all day here. Pinedo's coming in at about minus 900 and Ruquet's coming in at plus 600. Pinedo, you know, he's been around LFA or PFL for a while. You know, he's on a bit of a skid in his last two, losing to fighters who were able to take him down and, you know, have their way on the mat and you know, implement their game on him. Yeah, Pinedo, obviously great striker, not the best takedown defense and not great off his back either. He's, you know, had a hard time getting up, and those two fights definitely didn't go all that well for him, getting finished in both of those fights. Will note that in his second last fight against Kebulaev, he did pop for PEDs. Just thought I would mention that, but yeah, I mean, this is a clear bounce back spot for Pinedo. Even with his last opponent, they're trying to bring in somebody that's going to strike with him, and they want Pinedo to get a highlight reel knockout. And with his opponent pulling out, bringing in Ruquet. I mean, he's okay. Like, he typically a striker. He'll throw some leg kicks. He'll throw the odd high kick here, throw some combinations. But yeah, I just think Pinedo's going to end up sniping him. So yeah, right now the only thing I see is just him minus 900. But I'm curious to see when props come out. Maybe look at an under in this fight or a Pinedo by KO prop. I think at some point Pinedo puts him down and wins this fight by knockout. It's going to be Jesus Pinedo. What about you?
Jesus Pinedo all day. I literally just watched tape on this other guy, like not even like 45 minutes ago, because I didn't even know this fight was gonna happen. So I went over there and watched I think you sent me the fight, so I went over there. I watched a couple of tapes, and then I was like, let me see. And I would even look at his Tapology record. Pinedo's gonna knock this guy out one round. The one that I've seen is this guy can be hit. He's been hit by lower level competition. He likes to bang, and if you want to bang with Pinedo, that's not the best thing you're gonna do. And especially like these Peruvian fighters, they have a great chin. They can take a shot, and they will come forward all the time. Like, no matter what the Peruvian fighter is, they can take a shot. And Pinedo's gonna knock this guy out in round one. It's just levels to this, and this is a way easier fight than the last fight. I was gonna be picking Pinedo against the other guy he was fighting against, a Mexican fighter. I was gonna be picking Pinedo in that fight too. Now he's taking a big step down in competition, because I actually thought Pinedo would win that other fight by knockout, but I thought I can't remember his name, but the other Mexican fighter, I thought he was going to get Pinedo a run for his money for a bit. But then Pinedo eventually cracked his chin and knocked him out. Now this one, I don't see this guy doing really that much against him. So Pinedo by knockout, and I'm actually very confident in him. Minus 900 though, so maybe you have to add him to a parlay, figure it out, because he's like a giant favorite.
Yeah, I want to just touch on what you just said there. I agree with you. I think his last opponent, watching some tape on him, Marroquin, in some of his fights, he actually was wrestling and taking his opponents down. So yeah, I kind of agree with you. I thought that, that would have been a more competitive fight. And for that fight, Pinedo was lined at about minus 450. So that would have been, a little bit more reasonable of a parlay piece. But for me here at minus 9, again, it's just on one book. I don't have any interest in playing him at minus 900. But again, like I said, I'm curious to see what the under looks like, or Pinedo by knockout. So yeah, I just wanted to touch on that. Okay, moving on to our next fight. We have Loughran versus Julio Arce. We have Loughran at plus 135 and Julio Arce at minus 155. What do you like in this one?
I think I told you before I came on here, I was thinking about taking Loughran, and then I ended up saying I think Julio Arce is gonna win, but this is such a close fight. When Julio Arce was a pick'em, and it was just he was like a minus 120, minus 125. It was a close odds. I was on Julio Arce, but now the odds are going up to minus 150. Maybe it might even jump to minus 160, minus 170 by fight time. I'm gonna say I'm taking Colin Loughran, just because from a value standpoint, I think this fight's going to be close. I think both these guys are going to have their spots. I think Loughran's going to land some shots. I think Loughran's going to be able to get to some wrestling, and I think Julio Arce is going to land some shots, and he's going to be able to have some moments too. I guess this fight to me has split decision written all over it. I think this is going to be a very close fight. Two guys that were in the UFC before, two guys that got dropped from the UFC after a win, I believe. I think they both won their last two UFC fights, and then they weren't in the UFC anymore. So it's a 50-50 fight, guys. Flip a coin, honestly, in my opinion. I know a lot of people are high on Julio Arce in this spot, and I know some people that are high on Loughran I've seen. So to me, it's dog or pass. It's the value. Where are you getting more value? Take the value. So close fight, but I'm just gonna say from a value perspective, give me Colin Loughran. I think he wins by split decision. Very close fight.
All right, for me here, I'm gonna go against you in this one. I like Julio Arce. Yeah, I was taping this fight a little bit earlier on in the week, and before tape, I went into it thinking, okay, I'll probably end up playing Loughran here, or I'm picking Loughran. Not sure if I'd bet it, but that was just my thoughts pre-tape. Younger guy, everything like that. But after tape, I bet Julio Arce at minus 120. I just think he's gonna be the better fighter. Loughran, he's kind of a plotter. Doesn't really have a whole lot of layers to his striking. Kind of just likes to throw, punches, big hooks, that kind of thing. And Arce, I think he's crafty. Like he's got some good striking in his own right. He's going to be hard to take down. He's a good scrambler. Everything like that. And yeah, I think Loughran's only chance to really make this fight close is if he's getting a bunch of takedowns and holding Arce down. And Loughran doesn't really have all that great control, in my opinion. And yeah, I just think there's just been a lot of bad looks with Loughran. I mean, his first fight in the PFL against Jack Cartwright, he was a minus 450 favorite, and he looked awful in that fight. He was getting schooled on the feet. Obviously, tried to wrestle a little bit, tried to take him down. Didn't really have much success, and was pretty much just getting schooled at range. And then in his last fight in PFL, I mean, he fought Alan Philpott, and he was a massive favorite in that one, and got him out of there quickly. But yeah, I don't know. I just not a big fan of Loughran, and I think Arce is just going to be the better fighter everywhere. And in Arce's last fight in PFL, which was about 3 months ago, he fought Alexi Pregande, who's a up and coming prospect, and he had some moments. He was down 2-0 going into the third round, but Arce definitely won that third round. Hit Pregande with some really good shots. Had him wobbled a little bit. So no, I think Arce is definitely the side here. Yeah, I definitely liked him a little bit better at minus 120. I'm seeing you can get him at around the minus 150 range on some sites. I think that's okay. Anything above that, I'm probably not too interested. But yeah, give me Julio Arce, and I'll go decision, but I don't think a finish is impossible either. But yeah, I'll go Julio Arce by decision as the official pick. Moving on to our co-main event, we have Louis McGrillen versus Rafael do Nascimento. In this one, I'm going to take Louis McGrillen, and I'm going to take Louis McGrillen by knockout. However, Rafael do Nascimento, I actually took him in his last fight in the LFA versus Kamakubo. He was an underdog there. And that was an interesting fight. I mean, Kamakubo was trying to wrestle him, and he was sort of, anti-wrestling, landed the better shots on the feet, was blooding up Kamakubo on the feet, everything like that. And he looked pretty good in that fight. I just think for me here, the way McGrillen fights, he wants to get in your face, back you up behind the black line, and let punches fly and look to take your head off. And I think this is just a totally different stylistic matchup than the Nascimento's last fight. And yeah, if you guys haven't watched Dean Garnett versus Louis McGrillen, definitely do yourself a favor and go look that up on YouTube. That is an absolutely insane fight. Highly recommend it. And yeah, I mean, Dean Garnett's a good grappler. He went for a couple submission attempts in that fight, and McGrillen was able to stop them. I think he's, well-rounded. He's going to be the better striker here. I think he's got good takedown defense. So I think it's McGrillen here. I think he could be a solid parlay piece, or I'm going to wait for the props to come out, maybe look at a McGrillen knockout or look at the under. So yeah, give me McGrillen and give me McGrillen by knockout. What about you?
Yeah, give me Louis McGrillen as well. I was leaning towards knockout before, but I think I'm more leaning towards decision because I think Nascimento just has a good chin. I think Nascimento, I don't know if he's ever been knocked out before. Maybe I'm wrong on that. But he just seems like, for me, he could take a shot and he could take a good punch. So I think this is going to be a very good fight. And I do think McGrillen is going to be in his face, landing some hard shots. But I just think Nascimento is just going to be able to withstand the punishment and maybe have some moments for himself. I think McGrillen's probably going to win the first 2 rounds pretty dominantly. And then I think McGrillen will probably get tired in that third round. That's when Nascimento will start looking better, landing some shots back, trying to get to the wrestling and get to his jiu-jitsu. And then maybe it could be a 29-28 victory for McGrillen. But I just think the damage that McGrillen is going to be able to do in that first, second round is going to be too much for Nascimento to overcome. Knockout is possible. Don't get me wrong. McGrillen hits like a truck. I mean, this guy has this right in your face, dog walks you, just landing some hard shots. But I just think that Nacimento is tough enough to be able to land these to withstand these punishment and to get to a decision. Like I said, he'll probably lose the first 2 rounds dominantly, and then I think that third round will probably see some Nacimento coming forward and probably looking okay, and then but end up losing on the scorecard. So that Louis McGrillen just doing what he does wins this fight. I'm gonna say by decision.
All right, perfect. And yeah, that one we had McGrillen coming in at about -300 and Nascimento at +250. Moving on to our main event of the evening, we got Johnny Eblen versus Impa Kasanganay 2. This is a rematch, and this is a 5-round fight for the interim title. It was supposed to be Eblen versus Costello Van Steenis, who had to pull out. So yeah, Impa is filling in on short notice. And we got Johnny Eblen at about -600 and Impa at about +425. What do you like in this one, my friend?
Get me Johnny Eblen. I'm a big Johnny Eblen fan. I think he wins this fight. I think this fight wasn't on short notice for Impa. I think Impa would be able to have that. Probably the odds would probably be closer as well. But I do think Impa would probably have a chance to win this fight. But now he's coming in on short notice. I don't know if he's going to be able to last with Johnny Eblen. Johnny Eblen just has that pressure right in front of you. He's going to be able to land some shots on Impa. He's going to be able to take Impa down. And I just think that wrestling over time is going to be too much for Impa. I think Impa's going to look good for that first round and a half, second round. Impa will start looking good. But I just think Johnny Eblen's pressure, his wrestling, his the hard shots he's going to be able to land, the ground and pound, everything that Johnny Eblen does, I think it's going to be too much for Impa in the long run. And look at Johnny Eblen in the last fight against Brian Battle. Everybody was saying, "Oh, Brian Battle's going to win this fight." I saw so many people saying Brian Battle's going to win the fight. Johnny Eblen went in there and made it look easy. And then the fight against Van Steenis, Johnny Eblen was making it look easy, and then Van Steenis just won the fight out of nowhere in the last minute of the fight, last 45 seconds of the fight. Van Steenis won the fight. Johnny Eblen was making that one look easy as well. I think that loss is what Johnny needed, though. Johnny needed that loss to Van Steenis to take a step back, realize that you can lose and not indestructible, and now he's going to learn from it. I think Johnny Eblen has the skills to even be in the UFC and be a top 5 fighter in the division of the UFC. I like Johnny Eblen a lot. This guy trains with UFC vets. People that are in the UFC say Johnny Eblen might be the best in the room at certain times. So I like Johnny Eblen a lot in this spot. Barring like Impa knocks him out in the first round, I don't think Impa. I think Impa, in my opinion, is like first round and a half or bust. If he doesn't get the knockout in the first round and a half, I think that pressure and then the cardio pushing forward, Johnny Eblen is gonna be way too much for him. And I'm gonna say Johnny Eblen probably finishes this round in the fourth or fifth.
All right. For me in this one, as far as a pick, yeah, I guess I'll take Eblen, but the price here, I have zero interest in playing Eblen at -600. I think this is another dog or pass situation. I mean, in the first time that these guys fought, like Impa looked pretty good. He landed some good shots. Had Eblen, hurt at times. Eblen obviously is going to come out and he's going to look to wrestle him, pin him against the cage, kill the clock, top control, all that kind of stuff. And Impa is a really strong dude, and he's got good striking. And to your point about you were saying Impa is only first round or bust. That definitely is possible. However, yeah, also like you talked about his fight against Van Steenis, he was winning that whole entire fight, making it look easy. And then what happened? He gassed out, ended up getting caught in a rear naked choke, and that was it. That was all she wrote. So I think there's also a world where Eblen could gas out again and he ends up, getting caught late by Impa. I don't think that's impossible. Like, yeah, Impa's a strong dude. He's not going to be easy guy to wrestle and control. And yeah, I just think, and some of the interviews too I've heard from Eblen talk about this week, like, I don't know, it kind of seems like he's overlooking Impa a little bit. And yeah, obviously Impa taking this on short notice for a 5-round fight is not the most ideal circumstances by any means. But yeah, I just think this is a dog or pass. Yeah, as a pure pick, give me Eblen. But yeah, as far as a bet, I think it's dog or pass. So we are both going Eblen in the main event. So we will move on to our next segment, our fighter to watch and our fight to watch. So Wager, let me ask you, who is your fighter to watch on PFL Austin?
Fighter to watch in PFL Austin is going to be Khizriev. Just because nobody really knows him. Nobody knows that much about him. He's only 4-0. A lot of people that watch PFL know his older brother. They don't really know him. They look at him as the other Khizriev brother. So I feel like if he comes in here with a lot of people cheering for Biaggio, Ollie Walsh, him being the grandson of Muhammad Ali, the reason why he was the big name, everyone wants to watch him. I think there's gonna be a lot of eyes in that fight, and that's when Khizriev, if he goes in there and dominates this one, I think a lot of people are gonna realize who he is. So I think Khizriev is. I think his name was Gamid. I think it's Gamid Khizriev. I think he's a fighter to watch.
All right. For me, my fighter to watch is going to be Louis McGrillen. I love the way this guy fights. Big fan of his style. Gets in your face, yeah, backs you up, wants to throw powerful punches at you, let's take your head off. He can defend the takedowns, defend submissions. He's really got a lot of skills to like. He's a fun personality as well, and I think he's going to come out here on Saturday, and I think he's going to get a knockout and put Nacimento down. So yeah, that's going to be my fighter to watch. What is your fight of the night or fight to watch?
Fight of the night, fight to watch, whatever one it is. Johnny Eblen and Impa Kasanganay, because I do think that Impa is gonna make it interesting for that first round and a half. I do think Impa's gonna make it look interesting, and a lot of people are gonna be saying that like, oh dang, is Johnny gonna get caught? Is Impa's looking good? And then Johnny's gonna do Johnny, and Johnny's gonna eventually take over the fight, just forward pressure, just wrestling overall. And then after Johnny finishes them, probably late in the fourth or fifth round, I think a lot of people are gonna be like, damn, that was a pretty good fight. So I think that's going to be a good fight, at least for the first round and a half. And then Johnny would take over. So I'm going to say fight of the night is going to be Johnny Eblen and Impa Kasanganay.
All right. I am going to double up here, and I'm going to say fight of the night is Louis McGrillen versus Rafael Nacimento. Yeah, as you know, like we kind of both talked about in the breakdown of that fight, like, yeah, Nascimento, like he's pretty fun. Like he's got some skills too. Yeah, as you mentioned, he's never been knocked out before. You know, yeah, he can strike, he can grapple, he can wrestle. He's got a lot of tools to like as well. Yeah, I just think that, you know, at some point McGrillen ends up catching him and putting him out. But for as long as this fight lasts, in my opinion, I think this could be an exciting fight. I saw a clip of the face off they did that PFL posted on their Instagram page, and just the sort of energy, you can tell these guys, you know, don't really like each other. So I think it's going to be fireworks. I think it's going to be a show. So yeah, for my fight of the night, I will take McGrillen versus Do Nascimento. Wager, thank you so much again for coming on. Let me ask you, what do you got coming up on your channel here?
The usual, we got MLB baseball coming back after the All-Star break. First game was today. Phillies and the Mets played today, so I didn't have any action on that one because I wanted to see exactly how it's going to play out. But yeah, MLB baseball is coming back. We've been killing the NBA Summer League recently. We still do all different types of sports, soccer on the daily. I got to start making my videos a lot more for other sports. I kind of went away from, I was going live every single day for the longest, and I got to get back into it just because sometimes schedules change and sports kind of dropped off for a bit after NBA went gone, hockey went gone. Now all we have is baseball, the All-Star break. So yeah, guys, go check our page. We do all different types of sports, from tennis, soccer, NBA, everything. We do everything, guys. So, and I appreciate you, Collective, for starting the show up. This is a very fun thing that me and you are doing, and I appreciate you for contacting me to do this because I'm having a great time doing this with you.
Absolutely. Likewise, brother. I'm completely with you. And yeah, for me here on the Collective MMA channel, we will have a best MMA bets video coming out. We'll talk about, yeah, the best bets for UFC and PFL. So definitely hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, turn your notifications on so you don't miss that. And yeah, looking forward to UFC and PFL this weekend. Definitely a lot of entertaining fights. So let's do what we do and make some money. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. Yeah, hit that like, subscribe, drop a comment. Helps the algorithm out, helps get our video out there. Thank you guys so much for all your support on the first 2 episodes so far. We've definitely appreciated that, and we'll continue to do these shows for you guys and cover all the big MMA events for you guys. So thanks so much for tuning in, and we'll catch you guys in the next one.